I was born in Chicago, Illinois. But I was raised in California.
And certain city in California?
It's Hanford, south side of Hanford. Yeah.
And what age were you when you moved from Chicago to that city?
I was like, probably like 8.
8 years old.
7, turning 8 years old.
And do you remember what the reasoning was back then for the move?
I don't remember because I was always moving. Like when I was younger, I was moving all the time.
It was something out of control. It wasn't a move for you specifically.
No.
It wasn't like we moved to Cali from Chicago because something you did or something happened.
No. It was just my dad was just like that. He just liked to move all the time.
I see.
He always got like different jobs that was like traveling, and he just always liked to make money other places. So he did a whole bunch of stuff. So he traveled with it. So he always just took us with him.
And how long did you remain in that city in California for?
I stayed there up until
7 or 8, you moved there.
I was up in there until I went there when I was like, shit. So I stay in Texas right now. I've been there for like 3 years. So I moved from California about 3 years ago.
I see.
It's been a long time.
What city in Texas specifically?
Houston?
Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the reasoning for that move to Houston?
Nothing either. My parents, they just wanted to get another job. My mom did. It was my mom at that point.
Okay. So that was a family situation. That wasn't you just moving out on your own.
It was always a family situation up until I was like 17. Like, I'm 19 right now. I just turned 19.
I see.
So, yeah, back then, it was just like my mom wanted to get a different job, and it was not in the area that we was in. So she wanted to move to Texas.
Now, your parents split up at some point?
Yeah, they split up when I was like 7.
And you live with your dad at first?
Mm-mm.
You live with your mom at first?
I always lived with my mom.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, my mom, I've always lived with her. My mom and my dad, they was together for like 15 years and stuff. But I only stayed with my dad up until I was like 7 years old. And then I never seen him ever again, and I was in California. So we was all living in California. We all moved there together from Chicago.
You haven't seen him, even today, you haven't seen him until that point?
Mm-mm. Never again.
How do you think this split affected you? Hindsight 2020, looking back at your life, how do you think it affected things?
Like my parents?
Yeah. Yeah, they split up and you have to start moving, and how do you think that affected your life? If at all. Some people it affects them, some it doesn't.
I didn't think it affected me. I mean, I was younger, so I didn't really think much of it. I just thought it was my life. So I was just living my life. I didn't really think much of it, really. I don't think it made anything go a certain way. I feel like it was just my situation. I feel like everybody's parents split up at some point in life in general. I feel like it's just so common. So I wasn't really tripping about that. I don't really care.
Somebody watching this may be dealing with the separation of their parents, and circumstances could be different for everybody, but anything you would say to somebody watching this that's going through that themselves? Dealing with the separation of their parents?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know because I don't really care. Like it's not really a situation that I care about. But I know some people like need their mom and need their dad for certain situations, and a lot of stuff happened to them because they are not with their parents and all of that. So, I mean, I don't really have nothing to say. I really don't. I'm trying, but I don't.
No, don't try. I just want you to be yourself.
I never really,
If you have something to say, cool. If not, that's okay too.
Yeah, because this is my situation was just like, it is what it is. I feel like everybody have to accept the situation if you can't change something like that,
Was there ever another male figure in your life?
There was one, for a little bit, and there was one for a little bit, but not no more. Thank the Lord.
I see. Was it an actual step parent?
Kinda. I never really treated him like a parent. it was just like my mom's boyfriend type shit.
Okay, they never
Like,
got married or anything.
Nah,
Okay.
it was like, but she was with him for like 5 years, and she met him in California. My parents split up when I was younger. She met him in California. I was like 13, 14 years old when she had met him, and then we just moved to Texas with that nigga, and then like 2 years ago they split up.
Not a good relationship with this person.
No, it's like a lot of shit in my life happened because of this person, so it's just like
Good stuff.
that was just like
bad
a part
stuff.
of my life. Yeah, not good stuff, but a lot of bad stuff. But it was just like, it's just part of life that happened.
Anything you care to share when it comes to stuff that happened to you because of this person?
No, nothing really happened to me.
Okay.
It's just like a lot of experiences that I had was because of certain situations that people just put me in. Like a lot of stories that I had, but no, it's not nothing I really want to share. It's just like, as I think of it, a lot of stuff happened because of the situation I was in.
I see. Now, when it came to you growing up, what was that like for you? If you can remember growing up in Chicago for that amount of time, I don't know, maybe you have memories of it, maybe you don't. Growing up in California and some parts of Texas in your life. What was that like for you growing up in these different areas?
It was different. It was like, it wasn't really like the normal type of childhood. Like, when it came to like school and stuff, I wasn't really worried about school because I was really moving like a lot. I was in Chicago when I was younger, so it was like, I don't really remember shit up until I was like...
Too young to remember.
Yeah, like I moved when I was like 8. In California, I started like experiencing stuff when I was like 12, 13. That's when I started experiencing stuff, like just doing stuff in California. I really moved to from California when I was like 15. So it's like most of my experiences was in Texas at that point. I was just younger in California, but it was different. I didn't really fuck with school like that, so I was doing mostly everything outside of school. Like, all my experiences and everything was outside of school. Like, everybody was hearing about me in school, but it was just like, I was never fucking with nobody in my school. Like, that's how growing up for me was, pretty much. I didn't, like, participate in nothing. I was in track for a little bit when I moved to Texas. I was like, fuck that. Yeah, that's pretty much... Like, when I had moved to Texas, this is when a lot of stuff was turning up for me. I started rapping when I was like 16 years old. And that's when I started doing everything, mostly. So all of my experiences was when I straight like moved to Texas when I was 15 years old.
I see. And you were able to complete high school? You were able to graduate? Dropped out?
Yes. I dropped out when I was like 16.
What grade?
It was like the beginning of my junior year.
Almost done.
Yeah, almost.
11th, 12th, and you'd be done.
Almost. It was close. It was just like, I was never going to school because I was really moving a lot at that moment. I like stopped everything when I was like 17 when I started to like actually get like some money for myself, and I was always with my brother and stuff. So my brother get money, like he do a lot of shit. So I was just moving with him and like actually doing my own shit. But like I was young as fuck. I was like 16, 15. I couldn't really do nothing, you know. I was just like living with my mom and doing shit. But like now I'm just doing everything by myself. But like back then, it was really just me following other people. And then I wasn't in school. I was just my brother been dropped out, so I was just with him all the time. That's why I said like most of my experiences were outside of school, because I was always with him and other people that I was fucking with in the area. And it was like, when I went to school, I wasn't fucking with nobody in my school because it was just like the area that I was like, all my people, like all my niggas, all my friends, everybody, it was like on the north side of Texas, and I was on a whole different side of Texas. And it was just like, I had to go back and forth, and I was doing everything on a whole different side of Texas. I was not fucking with the area I was in.
Was that your only sibling, your brother?
Mm-hmm.
Older brother?
I got like 23 brothers. My dad got 23 kids.
Wow.
They're like my stepbrothers though. I met a couple of them, but like my mama only got 2 kids, and it's me and my brother.
And
So
he's older.
it's just us. Yeah, he's 2 years older than me. He 20 years old right now. He about to be 21.
What's that like being the youngest of the family? On your mom's side.
On my mom's side,
Yeah. Because you're the youngest of the two. What's that like being the youngest on the ladder there?
I kind of, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. It's like, I don't know, cause I don't know, a lot of stuff that my brother did, I really just kind of followed his steps. So he did a lot of stuff, and I seen and I learned in a safe way. So I did a lot of shit in a safe way because I seen other people do it around me. So I like that type of relationship of me being the youngest in my family with my siblings and all of that. But that's pretty much it. Like, I don't really, people don't treat me like I'm the youngest, that's the thing. So I can't really, I've always been around older people, like hanging out with older people like 3 or 4 years older than me all the time. So it's not like everybody around me, like Bali, Gabby, everybody that I be chilling with, they like 20, in their 20s, so it's like.
And you're still 19.
Yeah, I just turned 19.
Now, did you ever, well, let me ask you this before I'll ask you. Did you ever seek a GED by any chance or no?
I told myself that, like, I was like telling myself when I dropped out, I was like, I'm gonna get I really like tried to tell myself, I really thought I was gonna get it. Like, I really told myself, I was like, I'm gonna get my GED, I'm gonna do it, and I was like, this is the thing, I was trying to drop out when I was like, okay, it was a complicated thing, because I've been trying to drop out when I was 16, but in Texas, you gotta be 17 by law to drop out of school, unless you're homeschooled or some type of shit. You gotta get some type of like signature and like a whole, you gotta like do this whole thing. You gotta like talk to a whole bunch of people if you wanna get out of school, because you're not an adult in Texas until you're 17 years old. So I was going through all this shit trying to do that. But I forgot what you asked me. What you gotta ask me?
I had asked you if you were able to get a GED or you had thoughts of getting a GED.
So I was been trying to drop out to get my GED. Sorry. I was just thinking about all the shit that you had to go through to get motherfucking to like get out of school. But it was just like I had to go through all this shit. They even tried to take me to court for all this. But I signed this thing to say that I was gonna get homeschooled and do all this stuff, because that's what I thought I was gonna do. But like 3 months later, I still didn't get my GED when I dropped out. And I was like, I was rapping at that point. So I was just doing a whole bunch of shit. And I wasn't really thinking about I wasn't really thinking about it. But I did think about it when I dropped out. But like 3 months after, it was over with. I didn't even look back at it. I never thought about school ever again.
Now, hindsight 2020, just looking at your life, just looking at yourself, do you regret that decision of dropping out of high school, or are you okay with that?
I don't regret it. I'm okay with that. I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I don't really, I never regret it. I never looked back. I never thought about going to school ever again. I really knew I feel like I'm gonna be okay. I know I'm gonna be okay. I know how to make money without a diploma. I know what's going on. Like, I just know what's up. I believe in myself, so I know I'm gonna be straight. And I know that, like, I know what's going on. Like, I know how I move. Everything that I want, everything that I think about, everything that I try, all my goals, all that shit be happening. So I'm not worried about shit. I'm not worried about me dropping out and none of that.
What was your mom's thought when you make that decision to drop out?
She was acting like she cared. She was just like, she was just like saying normal mom shit. She was just like, oh yeah, don't drop out, don't do this. And I was telling her I'm getting my GED. I'm like, I'm getting my GED, I swear. I'm doing it. I was telling her all that. But she was just like, don't do it. And I was just telling her that I don't fuck with it. I don't like that school at all. I don't even go to school. They was trying to take me to court for not going to school. It was just the whole thing. I was like, I don't even go to school. I just want to get it over with. I was just telling her, like, I'm going to just get it over with. So in her head, she thinking, I'm just going to get it over with. I'm going to do it online. I'm going to get my GED. I'm just going to do this because I don't fuck with school. But I've been wasn't fucking with school ever since I was like, my sophomore year, I was like over it. I was in track my freshman year. and I was like kind of trying. I was trying to like get my grades up, you know. I was trying to be cool with the teachers and all of that. Fuck shit, but fuck that. My sophomore year, I was like, I don't want to do this no more.
In regards to your father, I know we talked about that earlier. In regards to your father, how would you? I mean, do you want to know what he's up to? Do you want him back in your life? Or it's just you don't care at this point?
I don't care. I really don't care. Like, I really don't care. I never ever cared. It's like I know he got the same number. He had the same number for like 15 years already. So he called my mom like 3 months ago. He called her 3 months ago because he seen a picture of me on my mom's Facebook or something like that. And he was just trying to talk, but I didn't really care. Like, I didn't really try to talk to him. Like, it was not really anything. It's what I'm gonna say to him. It's not really like, I don't know him like that. So it's like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter.
Just curious how you felt about that. Because, you know, when I do these types of interviews and there's an absence of a parent, some people, they may hold a grudge. There may be resentment there. They may not want that person back in their life if they reappeared. And then there's other people that, you know what, it's over with. I'll accept that person if they come back in my life, or they want that relationship with that person.
Right.
So just curious as to how you felt at this point with it. Growing up for you financially, what was that like? I know when people, especially in the American society, people get put in classes. People grow up poor, people grow up lower middle class, people grow up middle class, people grow up upper middle class, rich. What was that like for you growing up, financially?
Financially, it was like, yeah, it was bad. It was poor. Like, I was like, when I don't really know how to put it. I don't want to say poor, but yeah, I didn't really have like anything is, when it comes to like school and shit, I never had no type of clothes and none of that shit. I never had a phone so yeah, my mama was like, she had came from Mexico and all this stuff, so it was a whole bunch of shit that I had to go through with her too. I've been through different house systems, all that shit, just because a whole bunch of shit be happening. But it was like, nah, I didn't really have shit. I'm not gonna count. I didn't really have shit up until I was like 16 years old. Cause my brother, he had money. He had a lot of money when we got older. So that's when, but up until then, that's why I was always moving. I always moved houses. I moved away from my mom for a minute. My mom from Mexico, so I had to go to Mexico before to stay with her family because a whole bunch of stuff was happening over here. I was just back and forth all the time. And that's why I wasn't in school either, because I was back and forth from houses and shit. So that's how that was up until I was like 16 years old.
Growing up in, I know you said poor, maybe a little higher than poor, but before your brother started getting this money, growing up like that, what did that teach you? Growing up in that financial class, as you described it, what did you learn from that? Because things got better when your brother started getting money, so you were able to see the difference. But before the difference, what did you learn from that? Living like that, not having the clothes, not having the phones, you know, things of that nature.
I learned a lot. It's like,
what did that teach you?
A lot of stuff, because not doing all of that at a young age made me want to learn how to do a lot of stuff too. So like, me not having a lot of shit was always making me curious about how people did stuff, how to do all this stuff. Because when I wanted something, I wanted it. Like, I was going to get it. Like, even if I would just like learn how to sell different shit, learn how to like just do a whole bunch of different shit to get what I wanted. But that was when I was younger. I couldn't really do much when I was younger. Just little shit that I wanted like that. But I would just learn how to do a lot of shit. I feel like it made me go hard like I am right now, like the age that I am right now. So like, not having shit when I was younger right when I turned 18, I started doing a whole bunch of shit. Like, I started doing a whole bunch of shit when it came to, like, getting money. I tried doing a whole bunch of shit, and I did a whole bunch of stuff because I knew right when I turned 18, I could do everything that I wanted to do. So, like, all them years, I was just like, oh, yeah, fuck all this broke shit, fuck all this shit. And I was, like, doing little stuff, like middleman and little shit in school, like, just, like, trying to, like, get put on different shit, learning how people did all this shit. And that was just me in school, just being a kid and doing shit, not making real money and shit. Right when I turned 18, that's when I was, like, already to do everything that I wanted to do because I was tired of growing up like that.
Do you get a job, or do you?
I never got a job.
Never had a job.
I never had a job before. This is the thing. I always, like, when I was 16, I applied for, like, 8 jobs. I don't know what happened. No one ever called me back. I don't know what I did wrong. I went in there. I went to, like, a couple restaurants around the area. I was trying to be, like, a little hostess or something. But some told me I needed, like, an alcohol license. And, like, a lot of restaurants told me some shit like that. And, like, a lot of basic shit. Like, I went to, like, Sonic and, like, normal shit like that. And they didn't call me back. They were saying it was full. It was not meant to be. Like, it was not meant to be for me to get a job. Like I said, right when I turned 16, you can get a job at 16. That's the oldest. I was rapping at 16. I was doing shit with my brother. I was already on a whole different, like, I wasn't really thinking about getting a job. I was on a whole different mindset when I was 16. I was seeing how other people was making money, how people was, like, going up, how people was, like, just building their connections and, like, doing a whole bunch of other shit. I was not worried about getting no job at all when I was 16. That's the thing. And that was, like, the legal age for me to get a job. So it was, like...
Different states have different rules. It could be earlier for other states. But if you didn't get a job, I would imagine here that you got into some type of street activity at some point in your life.
I mean, yeah.
Petty stuff, or did you get deep in it?
No, it was a lot of stuff around me that I got into. So I learned a lot about that. I did some shit, like, when it came to, like, niggas around me doing stuff like that. I learned a lot. Niggas put me on to a lot of stuff. It wasn't, like, nothing too deep. It was just, like, experiences.
It's your brother that put you onto this stuff, or friends?
It was a lot of people around me. It's not really my brother. He do his things. It's just, like, there's a lot of people in the area, like in Texas, in the place, like in Houston. Like I said, I was always on the north side with a lot of people that I dealt with around there. So just the environment, when I started rapping, all that shit, just being around a whole bunch of shit. And just, like, growing up, too, like, a whole bunch of stuff in California.
Now, obviously, when it comes to street activity, that can be a risky path for some people. Comes with its own set of consequences, comes with a certain level of stress, comes with that looking over your shoulder feeling, sometimes violence, sometimes incarceration, sometimes, worst case, death.
Mm-hmm.
Did you face any of this stuff? Did you experience any of this stuff when you did get involved on that side of things, or no?
No, I never experienced, like, death. I had people, like, friends that was around me, like, niggas that I would be in the studio with all the time, like, that's a fuck with me, support with me, that I got to know around me. Hell yeah, they died. They got into some shit. They was on some shit. That was just the area that I was in. I'm not gonna say personally I had someone I lost to any street activity. No, that never happened to me, so I can't, like, say I know that type of pain. But, like, that shit is always around. That shit, niggas, like, when it comes to, like, niggas robbing people, all that shit is real as fuck too. So niggas that I'm with, they be on some shit. Niggas have cases for shooting niggas just cause when it comes to, like, stupid shit, like taking off on niggas for some petty money, stupid shit. Niggas get robbed for like $50 and he was there for some stupid shit.
Ever had a near-death experience?
I mean, I'm not gonna say near death cause I don't think these niggas actually gonna shoot. But it's like, yeah, like, people, like, not near death, but, like this happened, like, twice. Like, I've been at gunpoint because people be trying to rob niggas, but no one ever robbed me or the niggas that I was with. Like, no one ever took off on me and my brothers. my brothers that I was around, none of that shit. Niggas have tried, they put guns to my head, like, shit like that. But I never said anything, so niggas never got nothing, and niggas still didn't get shot. So that could have went left. You know, you never know who gon', but something like that.
That's scary, having a gun pointed.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, hell yeah. And it wasn't my beef, so it was like people around me. So it's like, it was unexpected.
When you have, there's people watching this, they see this sort of thing, right? In movies, video games, you know, pointing a gun at somebody's head, this, that, and the third. But when you're on the opposite end of that, what is that feeling like? Is like life flashing before your eyes? Do you think, I might die in this situation? Is that sort of thing happen?
This is the thing. When this happened, I was with my brother, or my brother was with me. It was him, he was with me the first time, and then the second time he was just in the area. So the first time when it was his smoke, so it was like when all of this happened, I was thinking about him. I'm like, this is his smoke. This nigga might shoot him. This nigga not worried about me. He not worried about me. So it's not like I'm worried about myself. I'm not worried about myself at this moment. I'm thinking, oh, I know this nigga got smoke with him. I know this is some serious shit. So if anything, if he gonna pop anybody, he gonna pop my brother first. And like, fuck it, if he, you know what I'm saying? That's all I was thinking at that moment. It's like, of course he could have shot me. But at the moment, that's what I was thinking. Like, of course he could have shot me, like, but it was just like, he would have shot my brother, because it was his beef.
In a situation like that, you're playing it cool, you're just...
No, I didn't scream, cry, none of that. I was looking at him like this. There was 2 other niggas with us. They had ran. That's how I know the niggas wasn't gonna shoot nobody, because the niggas was running. I didn't run, because it was my brother, and there was 2 niggas trying to fight him. Yeah, there was like 3 niggas trying to fight, and the nigga was like pointing a gun at me and shit, just trying to get me to like stay there. And I was just like, my brother was eating they fucking shit up though. My brother was he was still standing up. The nigga was not getting his ass beat for nothing. So it wasn't really like I was worried about it. They were still trying to jump his ass, but it was like, the nigga be fighting, so it's not even that serious. Like I knew he was straight. So I was just there. Standing there. It was straight. The niggas had left. It was cool.
What about the second time?
We had put up on him again after that, but it was cool.
What about that second time you had a gun to your head?
The second time, it was at like a party. We was all at a party. That's why I'm saying my brother was in the area. But it was like my type of party. Like I invited everybody to this party. So like I was like the one responsible around like of the people that was there. And there was some niggas from my school. And they actually came to shoot up, like, they had beef with this other nigga in the motherfucking party. And it was just, my brother was cool with this other nigga. So it was just like, they had beef with him and all of that. They came over there, and they shot this nigga in the hand, that ass, in like the fucking hand. And then this nigga, the nigga that he was with, he was just holding me at a gunpoint, trying to rob me. He was just like, give me everything you have, and your homeboy, tell me what he has, because it was his place. So it was just like, they knew the nigga had all his shit there. So he was just like trying to talk to all of us like crazy, like he was trying to talk to all of us crazy, like just acting like they was finna pop somebody, we gonna tell them where everything at, and it was just like, I never said anything. I was just like silent. I was like, it is what it is. If niggas gonna shoot somebody, they would have been shot somebody. But I knew the niggas in the area. So it was like on some hot shit. Like it was like around the time I was in school, and I knew everything was hot as fuck. So it was just like, no one's really gonna shoot nobody. It was like literally hit lick season. At some point, like everyone was beefing with everybody. Everyone in the area was going crazy. So that's the second time that happened. Like I said, it wasn't my beef the second time either. It was just the area that I was in. But that no one has ever like came to me and wanted to smoke my ass. Like, it's nothing like that.
Still scary stuff regardless.
Yeah, it could be.
And just curious, I mean, people get guns drawn for different reasons, but I mean, if anybody's in a situation like that, they get a gun pointed at them, is there anything you would say to somebody? in a situation like that?
Don't look scared. don't look, oh shit. Don't look scared. Yeah, that's what I say. Because if you don't look scared, I don't know. It's just like, that's the least you could do at that point. If you look scared, like, they're going to shoot you if they want to shoot you. So you just got to act like you got that shit together. You just got to act like you got to get that shit together at that point. But I don't know who niggas is dealing with at this point. There's a crazy-ass niggas out here. So sometimes niggas are scared of other niggas. Niggas be panicking. People don't know what to do in certain situations. But I just try to be chill in any type of crazy situation. Because what else I'm going to do? I'm not the type to panic. Like, if something goes bad, something goes down crazy or something, I'm not the type to just panic, scream. Like, I'm just actually silent. Just thinking, like, okay, this is what's going on.
You're complying to their demands?
Who's the man?
You know, like when the person at the second time was pointing a gun and saying, hey, we want this stuff. And
nothing. I'm not even moving. I'm just looking at the nigga. None of the times I didn't do nothing. This is some young-ass niggas. They not on no shit. They fucking scared as fuck, too. I knew niggas was scared. They were just trying to get in and get out. Like, that's type of vibe it was. I knew niggas wasn't going to stay there and try to press people to find out where shit was or where people hid their shit in the house and none of that. I knew. It's just the area that I was in, you knew. Like, you just knew everybody. You knew everybody who you was dealing with. People was just robbing people left and right, and you knew it was like, if you beefing with like 3 people, you gonna know it's one of the 3 people. You know, if like something like that happened to you or something like that. Or something like somebody take off on you because the area was so small. And it was a whole bunch of shit going on. It was hot, so it was like stuff like that.
What about incarceration? You ever faced incarceration before?
Like getting locked up?
Yeah.
Nah. Almost so many times, but like never been to jail before.
Now, stuff like this, you know, we talk about death. You know, you've had people that you know that have died. Incarceration, you haven't faced that, but you could have at one point. And you've had a gun pointed at you twice, things of that nature. Obviously, when it comes to street activity, did you know this type of stuff from the jump when you got into it, or no?
What you mean if I knew this type of stuff from the
Like,
jump?
sometimes people know these type of things that can happen, like violence, incarceration, death, things of that nature. And then other people, they find out once they start to get into it.
No,
These
I know,
things can happen.
I know everything. I know what the fuck I was doing. I know what can get you certain charges, what can get you certain sentences. I know the serious drugs, all of that stuff that people, like everybody that I'm around. You know, it's smart to know all that shit because people do be getting locked up left and right. Like, it's not new. Like, when I was chilling, of course, I see this shit all the time. People get locked up, bad shit be happening. Like I said, people get robbed, all that shit be happening. So it's not like I didn't know. I knew exactly what the consequences, risk, all that shit. I see so much shit like that. So
Did any of that stuff steer you away from it? Did seeing these things, experiencing these things steer you away from it? Like, all right, enough of this stuff. It's time to switch it up.
Nah, it's like I said, I never been to jail, so it's like, you really have to see how people move and how people learn from their experiences. Like I said, I'm young. Everybody that I'm around is older than me. Niggas done been to jail, left and right. People in my family, all that stuff. So I know how that shit work. I know that's the benefit from being the youngest child. I know how that shit go. My stepdad stayed in jail, all that shit. So my brother was in jail, in and out. So I know how that go. People around me was always in jail, so.
You said stepdad. You meant like the boyfriend you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Was there ever an exit strategy with the street stuff?
Not really, because niggas ain't had no money. It's like I said, get a job or figure out what else you can do. You feel me? Just like figure out what's good, figure out what you're good at, figure out what you could do for money. It was a whole bunch of stuff that I was doing when I was 17, 18.
Any regrets with any of that stuff you got into?
No. No, not at all. I'm trying to think about. No, ain't no regrets for sure.
Why not? Sometimes I do this type of interview and people do have regrets when it comes to the street stuff.
It's just like...
Sometimes people feel remorseful, wish they never done it, and then others don't.
I feel like once I started getting serious with like rap shit been moving fast for me. Like ever since I started fucking with like Bali and like, you know, like I'm a playgirl and all that shit, so I've been fucking with all my bitches. We've been going up, so it's not really like I regret anything.
How did that happen? How did you meet Bali? How did you become a playgirl?
It was like through social media. Like I had talked to, they had DM'd me through the playgirl page, and then Bali was DMing me like too. So I was talking to Bali, and like they was like, I was talking to them for a little bit, and then they was just like, yeah, let's be a playgirl, let's get this shit popping, you lit, you know. And then I was a playgirl for a minute, and I was just fucking with them like on Instagram. We was fucking with each other. It was cool as fuck on Instagram already. So like a couple months passed, and I was 17 at this time. So I was just doing my thing in Texas. Gabby staying in DC, you know. Bali staying in Atlanta. So we were just doing our own things. And so right when I turned 18, that's when I really started fucking with them for real. And we like linked up, and then shit was going up from there. So we started doing all types of shit together.
You guys link in Texas, or you guys link in Atlanta?
We actually linked in New York all together. And we had linked in New York. And that was the first time I had met Bali and Gabby at the same time.
Now, I do have just a few more questions about the streets, almost finished. Just curious. With that
Yeah, I'm looking at y'all like... All right.
Was it worth it? Was the risk worth the reward, or what you got out of it? Living that type of lifestyle.
I'm gonna say yeah because now there's like a lot of shit that I make money off of, like just going up in general, like just like rapping and doing all this stuff has got me different opportunities. So nothing really that bad happened to me when I was younger when it comes to like the street stuff, like you said, and the street stuff. I think the worst thing that could have happened to me if somebody around me would have get shot or something, or died, or we would have went to jail or something. But that shit happened. Me going to jail would not be that tragic. But it's just like, if like death or something, niggas ain't never robbed niggas before, so it's like, I'm gonna say it's successful. Like, you just gotta be careful. Like, people that I'm with is super, like, they smart as fuck. Like, niggas know what they doing. And I know niggas that don't know what they doing too, so it's like, I can balance shit out in my head. That's just how I move ever since I was younger. So
obviously, your older brother, obviously your mom knows what's going on, but when she finds out you're, involved with this stuff too, how does she feel about it? Is she surprised? Does she try to get you out of it, steer you away from it, or no?
Oh, my mama ain't really got nothing to do with nothing. It's like, my mama, it's not like I tell her this stuff. She don't know this. She know I always do, like ever since I was younger, I always tell her, like, where I'm going and everything, but she don't know what I'm doing or none of that. It's like, it's not like I'm telling my mama stuff like this. Situations like me being in situations where niggas getting robbed and sketchy shit like that, I'm not gonna go and tell my mama shit like this. Like, it's not like she knows the heavy shit like that. She knows what's good because we lived in poverty. So it's like, she knows what's good around. She knows the environment I'm in. She knows the niggas I'm around. It's not like any shit like that, but it's like, she knows I'm safe and I'm smart and shit like that. So it's nothing really to me telling her, like anything like that.
Well, I would assume you wouldn't tell her, but I would assume she would find out some kind of way or figure things out.
Yeah, I mean, when my brother was getting locked up and shit like that, for sure she knew what was going on. She always tried to stop, like, my brother from staying into trouble and all this shit. Stuff like that, like the niggas that we was around. But she ain't really had shit to do. My mama was always working. She the type to just go to work, come back. Like, ever since I was younger, it was just me and my brother by ourselves. My mama was always working, so it was like, we pretty much grew up together, like just showing each other shit by ourselves, doing shit. My mama she always cared and shit. She always did her part, but she was just always working and like shit like that. So she didn't really see everything like that.
How big was gang activity in any of these cities that you were in?
I don't bang, but when I was in California, a lot of niggas around me bang. Like, a lot of niggas, like my dad's side of my family bang. Like, in Cali, the blood and crit shit is strong as fuck. Like, niggas is really getting murked. Like, that shit serious as fuck. Niggas getting jumped into gangs. They just doing a whole bunch of shit. Like, when I moved to Texas, it wasn't really that deep. Like, niggas is just saying blood, niggas is saying crack, niggas is just chilling with each other and everything's cool. In Cali, like, in some areas, it's not like that. Like, it's heavy as shit. And that's where I grew up. So it was like a lot of people around me. Like, I have a big family. Like, my dad, he has 23 kids.
Right.
So all my family was in the place that I grew up in. I'd never seen them, but I always knew, like, heard of them and shit like that. So it was like, all of them was gangbanging and all that shit. That shit was like, in California, that shit deep. So, but me, I'm not. I don't bang.
And why choose not to? Just curious.
I don't know. It was just like I said, in California, that shit was strong. That shit was strong as fuck. I was like 15. I was like 15, 16 when I moved from California. And so, really, if I was ever gonna do that, maybe if I stayed in California when I was older, maybe I would have been fucking with the niggas that I was fucking with, and I got older and they would have tried to, like, you know, recruit me into the gang and shit because the area that I was in, most likely. But like I said, when I moved to Texas, that shit is not, I didn't really see the shit as strong, so it wasn't really, it's not in my head. I wasn't really thinking of that shit.
Now, on the music side of things, I know you got into rap music, the rap music career choice. You were started rapping at 16. But when you were in school, whenever you did go to school, did you ever do music class? Did you ever join the band at one point? Did you ever do chorus, things of that nature?
I did. I was in choir my freshman year and my sophomore year. Because you have to have like one of them motherfucking like physical activity shit. You feel me? Like gym or something like that. So like, or dance or something. Well, in Texas, you had to do that. In California, I don't think you had to, but in Texas, they made you like pick a couple classes like that. So I had to pick a couple classes. And I always picked, I had to pick choir because I had to get like one of the credits in there.
Were you a certain vocal position?
I was a soprano. I'm not gonna cap. I fought with the concerts. Like, the concerts was lit because we sang some alright songs. Like, it was on some shit, but niggas had like some type of rhythm, so it wasn't that bad. I just hated the class because I didn't like nobody in that bitch, and like they always tried to get me to read music and shit, and I just didn't fuck with it. I wanted to sing in that bitch. So it was like a whole bunch of extra shit that made it not fun. But it was okay. Like, I liked it more than I actually thought. So I did do that in high school.
Did you ever do a competition? Like,
Okay. I ain't even have good enough. Yeah, no.
When you were in school, I know, again, 16, you start getting into rapping, but were you the type that was freestyling with other other kids, battle rapping other kids, or you weren't into that stuff at all?
No, yeah, in school it was like that. Like even when I was in junior high, it was like that. Like when I first moved to Texas, the school I was at, like on that, like beat motherfucking bossa and all that shit, making noises on the table, in the cafeteria, all that little school shit. Yeah, but like not really. Like I said, everybody that I really fucked with when I was 16 was not in my school. So when it came to freestyling and shit, I wasn't really freestyling. When I started rapping, I was in the studio already with other niggas. And it was just like, I seen how people made songs and shit. And I just started rapping like that. I never really started freestyling. I just started rapping. Like I never really was into freestyling like that.
Before you actually drop out of high school, was there a song you were promoting back then before you actually drop out, or no?
Mm-mm.
You were just like...
It was just in my head, like, in my head, I was just like, yeah, that's when I was kind of freestyling. I was kind of freestyling back then. I was just in my head, like, just saying hard ass shit. I'm like, I had to get in the studio. Niggas I was with, they had studios and shit. The studio was like, I knew that was a spot. Like that was one of my homeboy spots. Niggas always invited me to their crib. They had studios, and then people I was with, studios everywhere. So I was just like, I could always get in the studio whenever I want. Nobody in my area was rapping around me at all. I was just thinking about this. Then boom, I dropped out, and I started rapping. I started dropping music for real.
Did you ever participate in talent shows back then?
Nah, in elementary school, I did like 2 talent shows. I was like, I don't even know. I was like in the 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade.
Did you win? Did you place or no?
It wasn't really like a placing talent show.
Oh.
The talent show that I was in like my school, it was like niggas just did a talent show. And that's it. They ain't really placed nobody in that bitch that year. I don't know if they was trying to be friendly because we was kids or what the fuck, but it was just like, that's how it was. I just did. But we fucked that shit up. Me and this girl, we did fire. We danced to that song, Umbrella by Rihanna. And it was raining and shit. And niggas had umbrellas and shit. It was fire.
You did do a sport of track and field. You ran track.
Yeah.
Freshman, sophomore, you said.
Yeah, I was in wrestling too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When I was in junior high, I was in wrestling for 2 years, and I was good. That's what I was actually good at. Like I went to state for that. I was actually good, and yeah, that's the other sport that I actually took serious. I took track serious my freshman year.
Was it junior varsity?
When I was in track?
Yeah. You never did varsity.
This is the thing. Yes, I was junior varsity, but for some track meets, I ran varsity. It was like towards the end.
How did you get introduced?
It was because my grades wasn't good, and it was just like niggas wasn't trying to put me in there. But I did run some meets, some varsity meets.
How did you get introduced to wrestling, and how did you get introduced to? Well, let's start with wrestling first. How did you get introduced to wrestling?
Because when I was younger, this was hold on, my bad. This was when I was in junior high. My brother was a UFC fighter, and he was in high school and shit. And he was already into that shit. So I was just doing wrestling in my school, cause that's us. I thought it was cool. I thought it was hard. I'm like, oh, that shit hard as fuck. I just want to do this, and I wanted to exercise. Like I always loved sports. I just like being active. I wanted to be active, and I wasn't really, like when I was like in junior high, I wasn't really making. I wasn't making like the sports. Like I had tried out for like basketball and shit. No, I ain't make it like shit. So I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm just finna do wrestling because I know I could do it. I just know I could do it. And there's no girls in there at all. I had to wrestle guys. But I was good as fuck in that bitch. I was good. I was good with wrestling, and I did that for like a year. I did that for like, 2 years, something like that.
You wrestled guys?
In my weight class. I don't weigh that. I used to be bigger back then. Like, I used to be, okay, I went up and down. Like, when I first started wrestling, I was like 140. I was like 140. I was a big girl. I was like 140 when I first started wrestling. Then I was like going down 120, 130, up and down 20, 30. And I was wrestling. And I was doing all of this. And like when it was time for like tournaments and shit, like this was like training. I was losing all this weight training. So before I even wrestled anybody, like when I first wrestled the first nigga that I ever wrestled, I was like in weight class 135. And so I won, but it was just like the same weight class. So it was like, it wasn't that deep, but it was still a nigga.
And you won.
Yeah. He was chubbier and shorter, and I was like taller and slimmer. I was like this height when I was in junior high. It was weird as fuck. He just looked different from me, but we weighed the same. Like shit, we weighed. So I was just quicker. So it was just like, I had won that, and I got happy as fuck. Like, I didn't like wrestling when I was doing it until the first match that I won. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this my shit. I'm finna do it. Because I was getting my ass murked in practice. Like, because everybody that I was wrestling with was so raw. Like, they were so good. I was like, I'm not even, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not fucking with it. And so I did my first little scrimmage, my first match, and I won. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to do this shit. And so I really tried, and I was doing all this shit.
Opposite sexes are allowed to wrestle each other?
Yeah, for sure.
That's common.
For sure. Same weight class, fuck it. It is what it is. And it was like, wrestling is not, it wasn't the sport where it had like a female division and then like a male division. Nah, it was just wrestling. And the girls it wasn't common for girls to do that, like to join wrestling. It was just me and like 2 other girls.
When you beat this guy in wrestling, does he get made fun of? Oh, he lost to a girl type of thing, or?
I don't know what he did. This is a whole different school. So it was like, I know the niggas that I was with, my brother and all his friends was there. They was talking hella shit. Yo, you just got your ass beat by a girl. He was talking hella shit. He was talking a whole bunch of shit about the nigga, and I know he heard it. So yeah, he did. He did hear that. He got made fun of.
You beat other guys besides him?
Yeah, for sure. I went to state, and I had to wrestle a couple people, like a lot of people over there. I lost like twice, but it was like it's set up where like you wrestle like a whole bunch of schools, and it's like if you lose, I was winning. If you lose, you like wrestle the other nigga that lost in the other round. So like they match you up, and it just goes up and up. Like when I was wrestling, I wrestled like at championships. I wrestled like I want to say it was like 6 people that whole day, and I lost twice, but I still made it to championship rounds, and I got 2nd place, so I still got a medal. But I like me losing those 2 times with all them rounds that I wrestled put me in 2nd place in championship rounds just because I lost. But I beat a whole bunch of niggas too. So it was just weird. It was a weird setup when it came to that.
How do you get introduced to track?
I just joined track. I just wanted to join track. It wasn't really like, I tried out for a lot of sports. I played basketball when I was in elementary, but when it was just like, and softball and all that shit. But that's childish. Like everybody make the team when they in elementary. When I got older, like, I wasn't really doing sports because it got serious. Like niggas is like actually good in high school. Like niggas is actually putting time and money and practice into all this shit. And I wasn't doing that shit. So I was like, fuck it. If I'm not the best at this sport, I'm not even finna do this shit. Like and I was in track and I was good. I was fast. I was a sprinter. But it's just like I wasn't the best in track and none of that. So I was like, wasn't taking it that serious. But I joined track and I really liked it. It made me get my grades up a little bit. I liked it, but it was like, it wasn't nothing serious for me.
You didn't graduate high school, but if you kept going and you finished high school, do you think you would have been good enough for some sort of athletic scholarship into college based on wrestling or track? Hypothetically speaking?
With practice, maybe. Yeah, I was young, so if I would have graduated, kept going the whole 4 years running track, oh yeah, most likely for sure. I think so. If I was dedicated for the whole 4 years of high school running track, yeah, I for sure would have made some work with a scholarship. hmm
When it comes to music, anybody else do music in your family, or is it just you?
No, it's just me.
What does your family think about your music career at this point?
It's just my mom don't really like. I don't really show like. She don't really know. That's the thing. My brother know what's good. It's just me and my brother. That's my family in Texas. That's where I stay. But it's like, um, my mom. I don't really show her much. She not on the internet like that, so she don't really see all the stuff that I do. She knows I'm out here in Atlanta and shit, and she knows I'm doing stuff. And I tell her like, I tell her normal stuff that I'm doing, but she don't really see. You feel me? She don't really see everything what's going. My brother know what's good though, so it's like he sees what's up.
Your brother supportive of it?
For sure.
Right away, or did he have to warm up to it?
No, right away. he was in Mexico at this point, and I was staying at my friend crib, and that's when I started rapping. He had came back, and I had showed him the first day he came back. He was in Mexico for like 3 months, just out there. And he had came back, and I had showed him like this song that I wrote. I just wrote this on this trap ass beat. It was like this beat was like nothing but bass. It was like the trappiest beat ever, and I was just going crazy. I sounded like I don't even know. I just sounded like a mumble ass rapper, and he was like, yo, he was like, yeah, he fucked with it hella, and so I got in the studio a month after that.
What does he think about the music itself at this point? What does he think about your actual music?
He thinks I'm hard as fuck. He fuck with all my music. He for sure he fuck with it.
Has he had a chance to see you perform live yet?
He did. We had performed in Houston. I was out there. It was on a tour. It was the Playgirl tour. We was all out in Houston. My brother had came out.
You knew he was going to be there, or was it a surprise?
I stay in Houston, so he knew I had a show and all that shit. He knew I was talking to him. He had pulled up with us. He met us at the B&B we was at, and he was chilling with us and shit. And we was all linking before that, and we hopped up to the show together.
Is it a different feeling performing in front of him when you know he's in the audience compared to when he's not, or no?
No, it's not a different feeling. I actually like it. I like performing in front of like my brother. I would perform in front of my mom one day, for sure. I'll invite her to a show.
Why do you like performing in front of your brother?
I don't know, cause it's like, the last time he seen me, it was like, I've been starting, like, I just started performing a lot. So I fuck with it a lot. And so it's just getting better and better. So I like for him to see like the growth. Like, I know if he sees these shows in the future, he gonna see different shows, and he gonna see really how the growth is. So I like him to see everything that I do when it comes to shows, when it comes to like going to the studio, linking up with people, all of that shit.
Not nervous performing in front of him?
No. Nah.
Not awkward performing in front of him?
Not at all.
Do you censor yourself performing in front of him, or no?
What you mean, like hold back?
Yeah, do you hold back at the show because he's in the audience at all, or do you perform like you would if he was not there?
Not at all. Nah, I don't hold back for nothing. I ain't got nothing to hold back about. Like, my music I don't really say shit that's like embarrassing or none of that for me to really be holding back. I'm not really, you feel me? I say all that shit. I rap that to my mama, and it still won't be shy, none of that.
And speaking of your mom, last question here. Best advice your mom has ever given you? Is there something your mom has said to you that just sticks to you?
Mm. It's like she doesn't really say something, but everything that she says pretty much comes down to like just me believing in myself in general. Just like I I just do everything that I want to do pretty much. I always do what I want to do. But like you do everything with confidence. If you got confidence, people gonna fuck with you regardless. So it's like something like that. Yeah, believe in yourself. Cause if you don't believe in yourself, no one gonna believe in yourself. No one gonna believe in you. The fuck? Hold on. Yeah, no one is gonna believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. So that's how you gotta move.